Hi everyone, it's Tiffany with Ready Set Create. Welcome back to my 12 by 12 days of Christmas. I'll be showing you 12 days of tips, tricks, and techniques for your holiday scrapbook layouts. Today is day 3. Let's get started. Today's layout is inspired by the song Silver and Gold from Rudolph, a classic. And so I'm going to just be incorporating some different silver and gold techniques on here. I'm starting with my silver Creative Memories pen using the wide tip, and I've got a piece of scrap paper underneath it, and I'm just running the tip along the edge of the paper, and so it's picking up that silver and just giving a nice little edge to it. You can't really see it very well on camera, but it has a nice little, it's just like the paper was dipped in silver. So I'm going to do that along all 4 edges. And you can see the scrap paper I'm using is used often for this technique and for other things. I just keep it under that mat on my table, and then I can grab it whenever I'm doing something messy. And now I've grabbed my ruler and my gold pen, and about 1/4 of an inch in, I am drawing a straight line in the gold from top to bottom. And then I'm going to turn it and do that again on all 4 sides. And so at the corners, that line is overlapping a little bit, and it's just adding another element. So I have the silver outline and then that gold line a little bit further into the page. And this paper is from the Our Moments collection. I still have a few sheets of this left, and this was one that has silver and gray tones to it, so I thought it would work well for this layout. Then I grabbed this scrap that I had in there. I love using my project folders to store all of my collections. Then I can add the scraps in there. So that gold scrap I'm going to use in a bit, but I'm going to do the outlining on this gray scrap just with the silver. So it's a real subtle touch, and it might not pick up very well on the camera, but it's just a nice little added touch to carry that metallic look throughout the layout. So I'm going to adhere that along the left-hand side of the layout. It was just a scrap from my Our Moments collection, and I like to use every little last bit if I can. Oops, a little crooked. And now here are those 2 gold pieces. This was scraps from when I had cut a jumbo circle out of it. So they're 2 kind of rounded corners. And I'm trimming each one because I had torn the paper. So I'm going to trim so there's an angle on that edge. And then I'm going to lay that larger piece underneath it just so I can cut both of them to be the same size. So I'm just going to trim that angle again on the other piece. And these are going to kind of be like faux jumbo photo corners. I'm just going to stick them in each corner. I was thinking about outlining them, but I decided just to leave it. So I'm just going to pop those down just as, a piece of interest. And it was just a scrap, and probably most people would have gotten rid of that, but I thought it was a decent scrap, and look, here I'm using it. So now I'm grabbing an alphabet stamp set that I'm going to use for my title. And this is one that I've had in my stash for a number of years, and it's from Mama Elephant. And I'm going to do some heat embossing. So I have my Versamark ink pad, which is a sticky clear ink. And I'm going to do one letter right now just to show you. I'm just doing the letter S. So when you stamp it on there, you can't really see it. So it doesn't look like I did anything. But now this is gold embossing powder that I am just going to spoon over that and tap off the excess. And this is how I store all my embossing powders, just in little Tupperware containers. Now I'm doing this in the wrong spot because I can't see where it is. So hopefully the third time's a charm. Yep, there it is. I found the S. So it's just a tiny bit of embossing powder over that. And now I'm going to use my heat gun and melt that powder, and it will turn from this kind of dark coppery color to a really pretty metallic gold. And I'm just going to repeat that process with the rest of the letters, and I'm spelling out silver and gold. It's a little bit tricky because it comes out clear. Oftentimes you can still see it on a darker color, but this pale grayish silver paper, it's really not showing up. So I'm not lining the letters up all that well, but that's okay. I don't mind it being a little bit wonky. Now, stamping directly onto a layout is always a risky thing to do because I could easily mess up and now I have kind of ruined my layout. So if you're concerned about that, do it on a piece of paper or a journaling block or something like that you can then add to your layout. Or if you mess up, take a piece of paper and a journaling square and cover it up. I've often done that where I've stamped something and then made a mistake, spelled it wrong or something. And so then I just go back and stamp it on a separate piece of paper and cover it up. But I'm going to do okay with this one today. So I'm just kind of stamping a few at a time and then doing the embossing process. I don't want to stamp all the letters at once because I'm always worried that that ink will dry up and lose its stickiness. So I just do a couple at a time. And this is kind of tedious and not all that exciting, but just stamping out all of those letters. And I have embossing powder in just about every color of the rainbow, and I don't emboss all that often anymore. But I thought for my Christmas pages, they all need a little bit of extra bling. You can spend some extra time doing some fun things. Oh, my D was stuck in the bag there and did not want to come out, so that was a little tricky. I haven't used this stamp set in a long time. But it is a favorite of mine because it's a really sweet, simple alphabet. And it's an outline alphabet, so you'll see what I do with that in a minute. All right, I've got all my letters stamped. I'm going to spoon embossing powder over all of those. And I just do it right over the little bin so that everything goes right back in there, all the excess. Although I missed some and it's on my mat there. I'm going to get the rest of those embossed, and now I'll have this beautiful gold metallic title. It just takes a few seconds really to heat up those letters. You don't want to heat them up too long because you will cook your paper. I have done that and I've ended up with scorch marks on my paper. So, just keep an eye. It's really pretty fast to emboss, especially on a thin designer paper like that. I'm going to close up all my things so that I don't stick my hand in the powder or in the ink or anything. Put that aside and I'll clean my stamps in a few minutes. So now I'm going to grab that gold pen again. Oh, I'm going to grab the silver one first, and I am going to fill in each letter with the silver because this is outlined in gold, and so I can fill in each letter. And I don't know that it shows up very well on camera either, but in person it looks really nice, and you get the two-toned letters. And because they're embossed, they're all raised, so it's really easy to fill in with the silver ink because the edges are raised. And I'm thinking this layout would probably be nice for New Year's. I don't think I did last year's New Year's page, and I was wearing a black dress with silver and gold polka dots. So now I just use my gold pen to write "and" in there. So I have my title all set, and now it's just time to figure out placement of my photos. So I'm just putting down my mats here. And I have two 4x6s that I'm going to put down. And I'll adhere those down, and then I'm going to grab some embellishments. So I'm pulling out my project folder again, and I have the package of the Our Moments embellishments. And I'm just going to take a empty tray and just dump everything into that tray. I like doing this because that way you can sort through your little pieces and you're not going to lose anything on your table. So I'm definitely going to use some of those gemstones, and then I'm just looking for anything that is silver or gold that I could embellish this layout with. I've used a lot of embellishments from this collection, so I don't have too many left, but I have that little gray oval that has silver on it, and then I found a little label that has gold, and then a little bird that is silver. So that's going to work for what I'm doing. So I can put the date probably on that little oval up there, and then this label down here I can write a little bit and layer that bird on top there as well. Now I'm going to grab those gems, and I'm just going to use the silver and gold gems, and I'm just going to create 3 little areas for those. So that bottom cluster is going to get one of the gems, and then I'll put one up with the oval, and then I need to create a 3rd spot, so I'm going to put one next to the photos there. And now I just wanted to rearrange that a little bit. It's always nice to do things in 3s. You could also do things in 5s. It just, design-wise, it's nice to have the odd number. So now I'm grabbing my stickles because why not more bling? So I'm going to add 3 little dots of silver, and then I'll grab my gold and do 3 little dots of gold.